Welcome, everybody. Today, I want to talk about one of the biggest challenges facing our law enforcement officers today: the adequate handling of mentally ill people. Police officers and other law enforcement officers are coming into contact with mentally ill people in their everyday jobs, pretty frequently at that. Mental illness is something that I have seen in my family, whether it be through depression or anxiety or bipolar disorder. I have seen firsthand just how mental illness can affect people. And so being able to handle these people with love and affection and overall having more efficient uh, interactions with these people is endlessly important to me. So, to ensure the safety of both the subject in question and the police officer, we should require mandatory mental health training to drastically reduce the negative interactions we see between law enforcement officers and mentally ill subjects. Now let's dive in to the interactions between mentally ill people and law enforcement officer, how training can improve these interactions, and the numerous potential benefits we could see as a result of this training. So most people, including law enforcement officers, underestimate how many mentally ill encounters they will come in their daily job really. And so, according to 21 different studies conducted by Psychiatric Services, it indicated that 1 in 4 mentally ill people will encounter law enforcement in some way or in some form. And so, with numerous encounters with these mentally ill people, we need to be able to give these officers something to fall back on, a training to be able to really empathize with them and understand the situation that they are walking into. And so we train officers to handle violent criminals, to handle different emotionally stressing events. Yet, when it comes to a situation with mentally ill people, we are not seeing adequate training being implemented. And not only is there not adequate training, there aren't good options to do with these encounters because sometimes these people need better options. And so, after doing some research, and I read an article by the Justice Center, and it said, without access to appropriate alternatives, officers are often left with a poor set of choices, leave people in potentially harmful situations, bring them to hospital emergency departments, or arrest them. And so also it goes deeper than just what we do as officers, but it also goes into our law code and being able to provide safe alternatives for these people. And so, with many interactions with mentally ill subjects, does this training really help? Training officers to handle mentally ill people has been shown to improve the interactions. According to a study performed by the National Library of Medicine, officers that went through mental health training had more positive interactions than those who did not. And if training these officers even improves these interactions a little bit, I would say that it is fully worth them going and implementing this training, and it will make everything smoother for both the person in question and the law enforcement officer. And so now that we've seen that this training does work, why should we adopt this training? Training officers has been shown to reduce violence and create empathy with people struggling with mental health disorders. According to the American Psychological Association, when the Miami-Dade Police Department adopted mental health training, they saw a decline in unnecessary violence and increased empathy from their officers. And so, this increased empathy and understanding the situation helps uh, law enforcement officers to de escalate situations. In modern law enforcement, we see police officers not fully understanding what's happening in their situation, and they tend to escalate. And this is a problem that is facing many officers, this escalation, when really we should be training our officers in these situations to de-escalate and be able to properly handle these situations. So, after all this, I firmly believe implementing mental health training for every law enforcement officer should be a mandatory thing. Policing and law enforcement have come under lots of scrutiny for their handling of certain situations. Implementation of mandatory mental health training is one small step to restoring faith in our justice system and will make our communities safer and the citizens safer too. We can ensure that officers are well trained, mentally ill people get the treatment they deserve and can make police interactions safer and less violent. Law enforcement appropriately handling interactions with the public affects everyone. We all know someone that will come into contact with a police officer, and these, whether it be friends or family, we see this, and it is very important that our officers are able to handle these situations adequately. So, together, let's reform one vital part of our criminal justice system and create a community that we would be proud to let our children live in. Thank you.